Alright, today we're going to be talking about ELR 8.4, which is being able to solve word problems using angle of elevation and angle of depression to solve problems. So let's see if we understand what angle of elevation and angle of depression is. For example, I see my friend in a building at a 25-degree angle of elevation. What would this look like? What would the triangle look like? So if here is the building, and you see your friend, let's say your friend is somewhere up here, and you're down here, at an angle of elevation of 25 degrees, the 25 degrees would go here with the ground. Here's your right triangle. So let's look at the specific actual answers, definitions for angle of elevation, angle of depression. So here's a picture of a girl looking up at a person flying in one of those things in the sky. So if you notice here, her angle of elevation is always the horizontal line going up, it's 38 degrees. And angle of depression is the horizontal line going down. So if you notice here, these two things are exactly the same, elevation and depression. Those are called those alternate interior angles, if you remember, from chapter 3. All right, so we're going to do 3 word problems. Some are going to have pictures, some you're going to have to sketch them. So here you cite a rock climber on a cliff at a 32-degree angle of elevation. Your eye level is 6 feet above the ground, and you are 1,000 feet from the base of the cliff. What is the height of the rock climber from the ground? So we're looking for this. And let's pretend here's our face with our eyes, right? And we have a height of, up to our eyes, of 6 feet. Okay. We need to figure out what trig function I'm going to use to solve this. Again, we're looking at the right triangle here. This side is opposite of 32 degrees that we're looking for. This side is adjacent. So which trig function was that one? That was tangent. So tangent of an angle equals opposite divided by adjacent. So let's plug in our information that we have. So tangent of 32 degrees. The opposite side is x. The adjacent side is 1,000. We're going to solve this equation for x, so let's cross multiply here. X times 1 is x, and then 1,000 times tangent 32. So this is what you're plugging in your calculator. Make sure it's in degree mode, or in Desmos, make sure it's in degree mode. When I multiply it out, I get it to be 624.869 feet. But that's not going to be our answer because that's just from here to here. We want to know the height from the climber all the way to the ground, right? So we need to add on that 6 feet of the eye level there. So my correct answer for this one is 630.9 feet. Okay, let's look at the second word problem here. Here we're going to have to sketch a diagram. So we have a damsel is in distress and is being held captive in a tower. Her knight in shining armor is on the ground below with a ladder. When the knight stands 15 feet from the base of the tower and looks up at his precious damsel, the angle of elevation to her window is 60 degrees. How long does a ladder have to be? So pause the video, see if you could make a sketch of this, what this right triangle looks like with the 15 on it, the 60 degrees, and where the x goes. Alright, so here's what the right triangle should look like. You have your damsel in distress in the tower. We have the ladder leaning up to the tower. We want to know the length of this ladder. 15 feet from the base is the knight, and he has an angle of elevation, so that's from the horizontal going up of 60 degrees. Alright, so we need to see which trig function we're going to use in respect to the 60 degrees. So this here is adjacent. This is my hypotenuse, right? So what's adjacent hypotenuse? That's cosine. So I'm going to write down the formula for cosine of an angle equals adjacent side divided by hypotenuse. Now I'm going to plug in my information. Cosine of 60 degrees equals, the adjacent is 15, The hypotenuse is x. And then I'm going to cross multiply here. And then divide by cosine 60 over. Plug this in the calculator. And I get it to be 30 feet is the height, the length of the ladder. All right, another one. Last one. Suppose you're flying a kite and it gets caught at the top of a tree. You've let out all 100 feet of string for the kite, and the angle that the string makes with the ground is 75 degrees. Instead of worrying about how to get to your kite, you wonder how tall is that tree. So pause the video, see if you can make a sketch of this right triangle with it correctly labeled. All right, so here is the picture that you should have drawn, hopefully. The angle of elevation is 75 degrees, 100 feet of string. We're looking for the height of the tree, so let's take a look. What trig function are we going to use? This is opposite, and this is the hypotenuse. What function is that? That's sine. So sine of an angle is equal to opposite divided by hypotenuse. Let's plug in all the information. Opposite is x, hypotenuse is 100, and we go ahead and cross multiply here. Put that in our calculator, and we should get it to be 96.6 feet is the height of the tree.